My name is Mano Hooper. I work at the Niseko Town Hall as a coordinator of international relations. I just graduated university last year. I went to Carleton University in Canada. For career up until now, this is my first office job or serious job because I was a student up until June, and so until then I had only really worked part-time jobs. I've been working part-time since I was 16 years old. I had a job working with kids at a daycare. I worked retail. Nothing super serious, but then I was doing that and school at the same time. It wasn't anything major, but I also worked actually as a teaching assistant at my university for my last year of university. So I was helping out a Japanese class, an assistant. Yeah, I was helping the professor. So there was an actual official teacher, and I was correcting workbooks and helping group activities in class. In terms of Japanese level, I took the Nihongo Noryoku Shiken. I took N2 level, and I'm planning on taking the N1 level, which is the highest level. So I haven't taken it yet, but I'm planning on, if I pass, getting the highest. Yeah. So they have Japanese classes, which are actually quite popular. They have all the way from first year to fourth year, so 4 years actually, and then they just added a more advanced Japanese class. So they have 5 years worth of Japanese classes. So if you start at nothing from first year, if you don't know any Japanese, you can still get pretty far. You can become pretty good if you take all the classes. There's quite a lot of content, and it's either people who just like Japan and want to learn Japanese, or there's also a lot of business students, international business, I think kind of like what you're doing, who are planning on doing a year abroad. So they want to study in Japan for a year. And so a lot of them take that course so they can speak a certain level before they go. And then otherwise, we had a few Japanese exchange students as well coming from Japan. And there is, at my university, there is something that's called the Carleton University Japanese Association, called Kuja. It's a club about, and there's some Japanese people in it, and then some people who are not Japanese but interested in Japan. And they do a lot of Japanese cultural events. Yeah, it's mostly cultural events. What did they do? They do movie nights where they show Japanese movies. They did a maid cafe once at the school. Just for fun, to show Japanese culture. Yeah, so there is a pretty big Japanese presence, I would say, at the university. Exactly, yeah. So for my program my major is global politics, but the program in general is called Global and International Studies. It's a bit more broad. So that program, and also the separate international business program, there is an international language requirement. So you have to learn a foreign language, or you have to take foreign language courses. And Japanese is one of the options, but there's a lot of different options. So you could do Spanish, you could do French, you could do German, Chinese, Korean. There's a lot of choices to pick from. And I already knew a bit of Japanese, so I took a placement test, and I skipped all the way to the your level of Japanese, and I just took the very last course because it was more suited for my level. But I also took Spanish, and I took 4 years of Spanish as well. But yeah, people can choose, and there are some people that choose Japanese, but they don't have to choose Japanese. So they're sort of separate. So before, like when you start school, you choose them. I guess you would choose them both at the same time. But also for the language classes, you don't have to take them right at the beginning. You can also, if you wanted to like think about it, you can do a year without taking any languages and do them all later is also an option. So it's quite flexible. But yeah, most people pick both of them at the very beginning of their school career. Yeah, I selected Spanish first, and then I only took Japanese when I was in third year because I had like an empty space where I could take whatever I wanted, and I was like, okay, I might as well take Japanese. It was, I guess, kind of what. Are you familiar with the term elective? Like a free course? So it was an elective for me. Yeah, it didn't really count towards my main program, but it was just like, 自由。好きなコース選べる。Yeah, my program was very varied. There was a lot of different types of classes. So because my major was global politics, I think most of my courses were politics based, but I also took like history courses, a little bit of law, a little bit of economics. Then I had the language courses, a lot of like social science courses, like ethics. There was a literature course, but it was all very international based. So like it was a lot of different types of topics, but the one thing they all had in common was international focus. I didn't. So mine was more like global, like everything. But there are, it's a lot. But there are some people that do select a region. So some people, do, like you said, Latin America or Europe. They have that focus. But I didn't. I just, overall. I chose to do the JET program because I always liked to study languages, but I always was getting to like a daily conversation level, and I wanted to at least have one language where I could use it at work. And since I'd studied a lot of Japanese and I was interested in getting better at it, I wanted to work in a Japanese environment and get to like a professional level of Japanese. And also, the coordinator of international relations position sounded like something I'd maybe want to do in the future as more of like a long-term job. I thought I'd be able to maybe get some skills that would help with what I wanted to do in the future. And also, this is like not a very important reason, but like I wanted to take a break between school because I graduated my undergraduate program and I want to go to graduate school. But I didn't want to do it all at once because I would get tired. So I wanted to take a little break and do something different in between and get some like professional skills before going back to school. I haven't decided where to go yet, but the school that I went to for my undergraduate program has a really good international affairs graduate program. So I think I might just go back there, but I'm not sure. I have to think about it. I think, I don't have anything like any really specific goals yet. I haven't thought about it too much, but I do want to continue studying international relations, and I'm hoping being in Japan and working in Japan and getting better at Japanese, it would be cool if I could do something with that as well. Like maybe focus on Japanese-Canadian relations or something like that. I don't know exactly yet. I wanted to do those things pretty much since I was like finishing high school and when I was like entering university. Part of why I chose the program I did was because I wanted to do either ryugaku or an internship in Japan. And so I was actually planning on like going to Japan with school, like during school, but it got canceled because of Corona. And so I was like, oh, okay, I can't go now, but I still want to go to Japan and live in Japan for a bit. And I'd always thought of doing the JET program. After university, I had been like thinking about that a little bit since high school, but then after my internship got canceled, I started thinking about it more seriously. And with JET, there's the teaching English, and then there's coordinator for international relations. And at first I wasn't sure which one I wanted to do. I wasn't sure if my Japanese was good enough for coordinator of international relations, but after I studied Japanese in university, I thought I would give the coordinator position a shot. And so I decided around the end of my third year of university that I wanted to apply to be a coordinator of international relations. I guess because I always had the JET program, like I was always thinking about it even before Corona, my final plan, I guess, or where I ended up wasn't too different from what I was thinking before Corona. But I know for a lot of my friends, the jobs that they applied to were different because a lot of places in Canada are doing work from home. So it's everything online. And so I know a lot of people who are planning on doing like an internship abroad or something, or going abroad, they just decided to do like an online job because they don't know if they can go abroad, and it's just easier to apply online. And so yeah, that changed a lot of it. Like a lot of people who wanted to go abroad are now really scared of that getting canceled, and they're scared of putting time and money into it if it might not work. So a lot of them are going to online now, doing internships or courses online or jobs all online instead of going in person. So at the very beginning of Corona, when my internship got canceled, it sucked. I was very disappointed. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to go abroad. So sad. I have to stay in my room all the time. But through, I don't want to say it's a positive necessarily, but because a lot of things moved online, it became a lot easier to find opportunities, because you can do it all from home. Like you can do it all from your computer. And so I feel like I had a lot of time to like work on things that I wouldn't have been able to work on normally, like the teaching assistant position. I think that was something I was able to do because it was online. And I don't know if I would have been able to do that if it wasn't online. So focusing on finding new opportunities as opposed to like being sad that things didn't work out was good for me. So like instead of like when classes went online, that meant I didn't have to take the bus to go to school and spend an hour on the bus, and so I could do something else with that hour. I could like learn a new skill or learn something new or get my homework done quicker. So yeah, using like the time and like the new opportunities that like a lot of places were moving things online, and that made it a lot easier, I think, for other people to access. So like focusing on that helped, finding new opportunities that were made available because of the changing work environments. I'd say the teaching assistant position was the biggest one. What else? I feel like this isn't an opportunity exactly, but I feel like I had a lot more time to focus on school, and so I was able to really like focus on my homework and like really focus on studying. And through that, I found that I enjoyed my classes a lot more. So like my courses in my last year of university, I found really interesting, because the professors were good and because of the topic, but also because I had more time to focus on it. So yeah, I'd say those are the two biggest. I guess with the JEP program, I wouldn't say that was because of Corona, because I was already thinking of doing it. But in terms of Corona, I would say those two things. Yeah. Right. So basically, when I entered university, I had like not a 5-year plan, maybe like a 7-year plan, I guess, 7 or 8 year plan, where I would do 4 years of university, right? And I wanted to do either a study abroad or an internship during that time, and then graduate university, do JEP program for like 2 years, and then go to grad school. And then after that, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But that was like my plan for university and like a little bit after university. And so during university, I couldn't do a study abroad or an internship. So that didn't work out. But in terms of like the timeline, I wanted to do JET after graduation. I wanted to live in Japan, and I am here. So that part succeeded. I'm still in the middle of it, but I think grad school will work out as well. So I would say, aside from the internship during school not working out, I would say, in terms of where I am now, I would say maybe like 80%, because I am exactly where I plan to be at this moment. So that part worked out great. For the remaining 20%, it would, I guess, mostly just be like we can't do a whole lot because of Corona. We can't like plan many events, or like the coordinators that were here before Corona, they were always very busy. They had a lot of events and stuff to do, and we can't do as much of that, which is a little disappointing, but it's no one's fault. It's just how it is. It's unfortunate. So yeah, that would be like the missing 20% of what I wanted to do, but otherwise I'm pretty much where I want to be. So yeah, I would say like 80%. I did have a lot of worries because like not only was I starting like a real job, like an office job for the first time, but I was also moving away from home for the first time. And so like coming to like, I've been to Japan before, but only on like vacation. And so to live here and not really know anyone and start a new job, it was a little stressful. It was fun, but it was stressful. And I think, I don't know if this is something a lot of people worry about coming to Japan, but I was like coming to the office, I was really worried about keigo because I'm not good at it and I don't really understand it very well. So I was like, oh, like I don't want to be rude. I don't want to come across as like rude, and I want to try to use keigo properly, but I don't know if I can. So I was really worried about that. I tried to study a lot, but I'm still studying. I'm still learning it. But everyone's been really nice, so it's been okay learning. But yeah, I was worried about that, I guess. And just in general, I was not sure if my Japanese was good enough to do what I needed to do. And I guess what helped me is to know that like all like the other coordinators as well, and anyone who moves to Japan for the first time is gonna also be worried about that. And like anyone who moves to a new country is going to be worried that their language skills aren't good enough. But usually it's fine, and usually it's a learning process. And so you don't have to be at 100% when you get there. It's, you can go and learn as you go as well. So yeah, that is what I was worried about, I would say. Oh, they all said that too. Oh, yes, I do a lot of Googling. I'll say like how to say nani 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 keigo. So yeah, I try to use it as much as I can, as much as I know how to. And if I don't know how to say something, or I don't know the proper keigo, I try to look it up. There's probably mistakes. I probably have made mistakes that I don't know of, but I do my best. I use it as much as I can. There's polite and there's not polite, but that's about it. And like even I feel like in English, polite is still pretty casual compared to Japanese. It's just like please, thank you. That's like it. That would be considered polite. So yeah, it's not very like serious. I like it. I don't know how good I would say I am. For French, I've been learning French since I was very little. I started when I was like 5 years old. So I had a lot of time to learn it. And when I studied Spanish as well, Spanish is very similar to French. And so because I already knew French, it was quite easy to learn Spanish. But yeah, if I wanted to learn like a completely different language, I don't know how good I would be at it, but I do like it. I think it's fun to learn new languages. It is not everyone, but a lot of people are. And especially, I'm from Ottawa, which is it's in Ontario, which is an English province, but it's right next to Quebec, which is a French province. And so there's a lot of people who speak both English and French. We advertised it for like the Niseko area because it used to be in person. And so the people who would come would have to be able to get there, to drive there. So I think before, I wasn't here for this, but I think before they had like people from Niseko-kuchan, like that area. But now that it's online, anyone can join basically. So we still advertise it for like the Niseko area, but if we meet someone else like you who's like interested but doesn't, like, they're free to join as well. Yeah, it's pretty open. I think a lot of my goals, and they've changed a little bit throughout the years, but basically I like think of something that like I'm interested in. I'm like, oh, that sounds like fun, and then I'll like try it and see if I like it. So like a lot of it comes from like trying things and seeing if I really like it or if I don't like it. And so like I studied more Japanese and I liked it and I wanted to get better at it. So I made that one of my goals. And then, yeah. So like if I like something, I will be more motivated to do it because it's enjoyable. And even working in Niseko as well, we have like a lot of different types of jobs to do. And so there's stuff I like and stuff that I've discovered that I don't like. And so that does shape my goals for the future. In that case, this is, I think, one of the good parts of the internet, which is it's really easy to find communities of people who are interested in the same things as you and who want to do who have like similar dreams to you. So that's something like, for example, when I applied to the JET program, I spent a lot of time. Do you know Reddit? The website Reddit? It's, here, I'll send it in the chat, Reddit. It's a very popular website just for like talking about things and discussing things. And there are communities of people who are interested in the same thing. And there's a lot of people who want to do the JET program on there. And they talk a lot about like the application process and what it's like. And people who have done it will like share their experiences and what helped them and what they found hard and stuff like that. So I find like it's obviously very hard if your family and friends aren't interested in your dreams, but there are ways to find people that are and that you can talk to and share things with. Yeah, I think finding people that can relate to you, whether that's on the internet or in real life, either or. I think that's a good way to deal with it. Yeah, reading about people who were able to do what you want to do, it's very helpful, because then you know it can be done. If somebody else has done it before, you can also do it. It's mostly in English. I don't know if there's a Japanese side to it, maybe. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in English for sure. I'm guessing you said you wanted to go abroad, and I'm guessing a lot of people want to go abroad as well in your program. This is like a cultural difference thing maybe, but I feel like in Japan, when you look for a job, it's very like, it's straight. Like you graduate, you get a job, and that's what you do. Right? Yeah, I feel like that's how it is. In Canada and the United States, it's not as like straight. So you can like graduate and you can take some time off, or you can like try different things and think about a little bit what you want to do. And there's a lot of people that graduate and then they switch around different jobs just to like see what they like, see what they don't like. And so if you want to go abroad to like somewhere like Europe or Canada or the United States, I would take advantage of that. I think a good way to really figure out what you want to do is to try it. And I feel like there's a lot of opportunities. I can only speak about Canada because that's where I'm from, but there are a lot of opportunities to try a lot of different things and meet a lot of different people. And you might find some things that like you didn't know you liked, or that you thought you would like and then you really didn't like. So yeah, there's a lot of work opportunities. There's also a lot of internship opportunities, or volunteer, or if you want to keep studying, a lot of school programs as well. So yeah, I know it can be like scary to go to another country, but the best way to do it, I think, is just to do it. If you always like wait until you're 100% ready, you're never going to be 100% ready. So I think just jumping into it is a great way to go. Yeah, like even if you don't have like a very detailed plan, you can still do a lot of things and sort of make a plan as you go. Yeah, that was very general advice, I guess, but that's what I would say.